Welcome into Washington Football Talk. I am Tom Downey, here to take a look at what is going on with the Washington football team's quarterback battle, one of the most intriguing ones in the NFL for this season. And Ron Rivera has offered some pretty intriguing insight to The Athletic. Now, for starters, there are 4 players on the roster. Steven Montez, not a chance in hell to win the job, maybe a practice squad guy. Kyle Allen, well, appears to be firmly behind the other 2, Ryan Fitzpatrick and Taylor Heinicke, in the battle. Here's what Ron Rivera told The Athletic recently. Quote, Ryan, meaning Fitzpatrick, has the job right now, and it's his to have. I'm not going to say his to lose. I think that's the wrong way to look at things. It's his to have. If he goes out, does the things that he's done in the past, do the things we saw in OTAs and minicamp, the way he's built a rapport with his teammates on both sides of the ball, I think that's important. We'll see. But I'm not going to discount Taylor. First, the Fitzpatrick side of it. The second he signed, I think almost all of us were like, okay, he's the starter. He's a bit of a wild card. The cycle of Fitzpatrick can be rather frustrating and bothersome, but he did make some big-time plays for Miami last year. Yes, there are ups. Yes, there are downs, but I would argue unquestionably he is a significant upgrade over what the football team got out of, Alex Smith and Dwayne Haskins last year. Now, his top contender then would be Taylor Heinicke, who did play really well, way beyond everybody's expectations as it related to the playoff game against the Bucs. 59% of his passes, not great, but hey, Bucs got a great defense, right? 306 yards. His QBR was 64.3. Chipped in 46 yards and a score on 6 carries. He exceeded, I think, almost everybody's wildest expectations last season. With that said, I still think this is Fitzpatrick's job to lose. And at worst, Heinicke offers you a nice quality backup quarterback option that, frankly, not many teams in the division really have right now. But I think it's pretty clear this is supposed to be Fitzpatrick's job. Now, maybe the cycle of Fitzpatrick shows up again where he's bad as a starter, loses the job, gets back in, plays great as a backup, and then gets a starting job and stinks and then gets cut, and etc., and it's all over again. But I think Fitzpatrick, and I think correctly, is the heavy favorite to win. That's not even a dig at Heinicke. The football team added Fitzpatrick. If they loved Heinicke and were convinced he was the guy, they wouldn't have added Fitzmagic. So make your predictions for me then right now in the comments section. Specifically for week 1. Who is the Washington football team's starting quarterback? Get your votes in. RF for Ryan Fitzpatrick or TH for Taylor Heinicke. The Washington football team, well, they've still got some issues as it relates to rights and everything along those lines. Now, let's take a look at what's going on as it relates to some trademark issues as reported by the Darren Neville over at the Action Network. The U.S. Patent and Trademark Office has rejected Dan Snyder and the football team's attempt to trademark the team name, a.k.a. the Washington football team, for clothes. They could not trademark that name. Now, there's 2 reasons why that went down. Number 1 was some geographic issues, which would be pretty easy to resolve. I think there's enough brand recognition behind the Washington football team that people would know it's in D.C. and not, Washington. Like, that's fine. The real problem here is some issues with some trademark and copyright squatter, namely Phillip McCaulay, who trademarked Washington Football Club way back in 2015, sold some merchandise, and that was enough for the U.S. Patent Office to partially reject the trademark name as a result. Now, McCaulay has Darren Heitner, who's spent a lot of time around the NFL as a lawyer, mostly for players, but in this case, he's representing McCaulay. Here's what Darren Heitner had to say. Quote, Mr. McCaulay is aware that the Washington football team trademark applications received non-final office actions with refusals for, among other things, a likelihood of confusion with Mr. McCaulay's registered trademark for Washington Football Club that he previously renewed. That's lawyer speak for they didn't get it because my client has it. As we told the team in the past, Mr. McCaulay is willing to discuss assigning his valuable registration. That's lawyer speak for, hey, come pay me. That's where we're at for Washington. Unfortunately, they did not get a trademark, which would have been a nice little boost there. And this is not the only issue the football team might run into with McCaulay. Again, I kind of called him the trademark squatter. He's got a couple different trademarks out there adjacent or including other different nicknames for Washington. So, yes, there is a path in which the football team could try and get his trademark overturned or vetoed or whatever. It does complicate everything going on around the Washington football team name change. He's got a couple different rights there. In reality, this is where I think the football team is at. Remember the episode of The League where Taco somehow got the rights to the Cowboys.com or whatever, and Jerry Jones had to pay him off? That's pretty much where we're at right now with Phillip McCaulay and with the Washington football team. I think he kind of won. He played his hands well 5 years ago, 6 years ago, got the trademark, sold some merchandise. I think the reality is Dan Snyder's got to pay up. He's got to give McCaulay some money to get that trademark. That is the reality here, which stinks for Washington. So what do you guys think? Should Washington just say, you know what, we got to do it. We're going to pay Phillip McCaulay, give him some money to go away so we have all the rights to stuff and we can pick our team name more in depth after that. Get your votes in. Y for yes or N for no.